Zero trust is identified with identity, and it's intertwined. Really, identity is a fundamental building block of zero trust. But when you step back and look at it, there's an identity of the accessor, and there's identity of the data. Most people forget that there's an identity of the data. It's bringing the two identities together is what zero trust really is all about. Like, let me give an example. Let's say there's patient data. That data has identity about patients. Different patients' data is inside the table. There's identity of the patients. Now, let's say there's a nurse that accesses patients' data. You take the identity of the nurse, see whether she's responsible for these patients, and then the access control function has to be this nurse accesses only the legit patient's data and not data about patients that she's not involved in the treatment of.
That's totally true, Narendra. Like you rightly say, I think there is an identity of the access. There is inherently an identity of the data, which in this case is the patient's identity. And the context of what kind of query is this nurse assuming? Let's say she's using an application. The application is querying on behalf of the nurse. These three contexts have to come together if you have to get zero trust data security right. Because we need control over the access, we need control over what kind of data, and finally, what is that norm? What is that query that's always getting executed?